United States and actually in most parts of the world. Speaking on behalf of the company, ube is flying off the shelves. But if you notice, ube started off as a local concoction, right? And now that we're beginning to slowly export it, we're seeing now the trend that it's following because it started off first with the diaspora and now it's moving towards the mainstream. And of course, you want to take advantage of underlying global opportunities. So in the case of ube, for example, now it's starting to pick up steam. It's becoming the hot food in the United States. So we want to be able to, you have to be able to watch out for these trends and be able to ride these trends, especially as they become more mainstream. So these are some of the factors you should consider. So you have a product already, you know what the global situation is like. But what are the factors that go into exporting and whether this is something you should really consider? The first really is production capacity. We find that one, if you're going to distribute through the different models which I talked about earlier, such as B2B or B2G, the production capacity requirement is actually quite large because MSMEs will want, distributors, wholesalers want volume to be able to supply their stores. For smaller enterprises, there's also a B2C model. Now, for the B2C model, typically what these online e-commerce websites, although they're not able to ask for as much bulk, what they want you to do is be able to supply on a regular basis. So even though it's just one case or one or two pieces of product, what they want to be able to do is really provide that consistency in terms of delivering to their customers. Secondly, really, it's about unit economics. Does it make sense for you to be able to factor in all of the costs, right? And some of the costs really that involve in exporting are not, one is the logistics costs, as well as the documentation costs, which I talk about later. And really, more importantly, when considering exporting, there's something what we call a difference in pricing. So there's a local sales price and there's an export price. Now, the export price is governed by many things, so this can be a different topic. But the most important thing to know is that if it doesn't make sense for you to sell locally, definitely it's not exporting will not solve it. So you have to make sure that the costs and the pricing that you are charging locally make sense for you, and then proceed to exporting. Thirdly, there's also product compliance. Now, for those of you who are in the food space, these are, for example, an example of some of the challenges. Now, for some countries, for example, when dealing with particularly food, there are different types of nutrition facts labels. So if you look at my example on top,